it's just social search engine optimization.
Cool.
You create good titles, good tags, and you put a beautiful design up on a really specific mockup because mockup should is your first selling point. Like that's what people see with their eyes. And as you said, like little tweaks go a long way. So zooming in to like an exact like sweet spot, choosing a great color combo with the t-shirt and the print itself, because a
Mm.
lot of times people love like a single print, a single color prints. And if you choose a really sweet combination, like red print on a pink shirt, that's been trending. It's a beautiful combination. Or um, white on a dark green t-shirt. And there are a lot of beautiful combinations, purple and green, yellow and orange. Like there are a lot of them if you decide to go monochrome.
Welcome back to the Built Online podcast, where we talk about all things online business, from e-commerce to digital marketing to building your dream life and your dream business. I'm your host, Cody McGuffie, and if you've been with us for a while, you might remember us as the Etsy Seller podcast. Well, we're expanding our horizons and transitioning from just talking about Etsy businesses to covering all types of online businesses, because we believe the opportunity is so massive that we should be covering so many unique businesses online. And at EverBee, we believe that everyone deserves the opportunity to pursue their passions, live life on their own terms. And we believe in making e-commerce accessible to everyone in the world, no matter where they are, and be using it to make a positive impact in our families and in our communities. We believe that anyone who truly commits to something, truly pursues it with undeniable force of will, that they will succeed. Let's jump into today's show. Alina, what's up? How are you?
Very good. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here among EverBee listeners.
It's gonna be.
Finally, it's a big honor.
Thank you. I'm seriously so happy that you're here, and we've already chatted a little bit, but I want to confirm: do you go by Alina? Do you go by BB? What do you prefer to go by?
I go by Alina. That's sounds good. And you have a
Cool.
great pronunciation of my name.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Where are you? Where are you located?
I'm in Brooklyn, New York.
Nice. Okay. Are you from there originally?
No, I live here for about 8 years. I came originally from Russia back in 2016.
Awesome.
So on my way on becoming true New Yorker in 2 years.
Wow. Well, I'm excited to have you on. Again, thank you for coming on. Alina, you have a very I want to hear more about your personal story. It leads into the business story because I think it's all connected. But to start with some high level facts, I just wanted to make sure that I have these properly, so have these correct. So correct me if I'm wrong. But you started your Etsy shop about, at least this Etsy shop, about a year and a half ago. Does that sound correct?
Uh, Almost 1 year ago, like in August 2023, I started this main shop that we're going to talk about today called
Wow.
Watermelon Locks. Yes, I started
And
in, I think, 1st of August.
okay, so I have the correct data in front of me, it sounds like. Talk to me about revenue, just and then we'll dive into, we'll kind of work backwards. But tell me about revenue. How's the success been in a 1 year?
It's been crazy because I originally started it just as a secondary shop to all my POD endeavors. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna make maybe $500 on a back burner. It's gonna be nice to support some of my, I don't know, small expenses like pocket money. And then it scaled so quickly from $500 to now we're making like five figures a month, and it tells me that we strike the nerve with the audience and what was working for me because I originally started taking mock-ups just for my own shop. It actually resonated with the rest of the community, and from there I just started to scale what was working. So it's been crazy. So first month it's like tripled, then quadrupled, and now we're making over $20,000 a month. Um, it's a pretty cool journey with this mock-up shop. Never thought something like that would happen with my just like a secondary business.
Wow. 20,000 plus per month. And revenue, we're talking revenue here, but it's also, you mentioned mock-up shop. So that means that are they all digital, completely digital products?
All digital, so the profit margin is around 85%.
Wow. And you also know your numbers. That's crazy. How much total revenue in that 1 year
In this entire all
for
this
the
time,
shop? Hmm.
I need to look at it, but I think around 200 or 250,000.
Wow. You know, I want to kind of dig into this a little bit because so many people are listening to this and they're like, they want that. And they also don't believe that it's totally possible. Can you maybe give us a glimpse into your mindset with this? Meaning, like, how are you feeling about this? Is this something that you always knew you're capable of? Is this something that you had doubts and all of a sudden it kind of like evolved into now you're confident about making this $30,000 a month? What does that feel like?
It feels great, but I haven't really processed and accepted the fact this is how much this shop is making. Every month, I feel like it's gonna go away somehow. And with Etsy, it's possible. We all know that it's a tricky platform with really like a one-side conversation, like a one-way street conversation. You can only talk to them; they don't really talk to you back. Um, I was really excited because I thought that my POD shops and this one would be more like 80-20 in terms of revenue. Like my POD business will make me 80% and this is 20. And I think by now they're already making the same amount because I still haven't abandoned my POD shop um, that still generates some revenue. Obviously, I don't want to reveal what shop it is because it's kind of
Sure.
like became a theme of POD sellers not to share it because it really hurts you when
Yeah.
you do. But I think the success secret for the watermelon mocks was um, in the fact that I am the seller myself, and I always knew what I was lacking in other mockups that were out there, and I wanted to bring this like extra easiness into creating mockups because I was always a numbers person. I wanted to put as many um, designs out as possible, which really requires a lot of time creating mockups. So for me, it was really important to make it as easy to use as possible with
Mm.
the least shadows, with the least folds, only natural lighting, variety of colors, only true colors, never Photoshop. And I saw originally how my shop was succeeding from changing the mockups from the flat lays that used to be a thing a couple of years ago into a real model mockups with particular lighting and simplicity,
You
oversized
bring
fit, like all these things.
Yeah, it's interesting because you bring a very unique perspective to this niche. And so you already mentioned watermelon mocks. Can we talk about more about that shop? And I think it's actually it could be very helpful for everyone listening to this because a lot of sellers that listen to this right now are POD sellers. So we can talk about
Yeah,
mockup, the do's, the don'ts, some of the tips and
exactly.
tricks. Because my understanding is that with mockups, it's very subtle tweaks can make a big impact to your conversion rate. And so maybe we can dive into that. But before we do that, can we talk about your background as a professional that kind of led you into being so good at this craft? Because I think it's very relevant here.
hmm I come from a background of architecture. Specifically, I was an urban designer and I moved to New York for work. I was designing public spaces all over the US and the world, and my job allowed me to travel a ton. And it was a dream job for somebody, but not me.
Mm,
I was always looking for other outlets on how I can, um, I don't know, apply my creative skills that were not there. And even though the job itself was really fulfilling, it was a nonprofit organization, but I still wanted some freedom and also financial freedom because, as you can imagine, nonprofits, they pay as they sound. There's no profit there. um, so when I was looking for something to start, like a small business or maybe some craftsman related stuff on Etsy, I originally thought of creating stickers and buying this like sticker machine, like doing everything with my own hands
Mhm.
until I stumbled upon some educational videos on YouTube that there's this new thing called POD that Etsy expands to,
How many
and
years ago was
it's
this? When did you
final.
start? When
It
did you
was
start this?
2020, beginning
Okay.
of 2021, I think.
Okay,
It
so
was
two
like in
years
the
ago.
midst of the pandemic. Yeah. And originally my design background really was hurting me because, as I always tell the sellers now, that they should strip their design ego from it. And actually, if you're a designer,
Mm.
it's harder for you to create t-shirt designs because you think you know better, while some
Yeah.
people that don't come from design background, they just take the market prompts as is. So that's what all designers should do. They just should forget about what they think is good and try to search what the market thinks is good, what people are searching for. Because creating demand yourself is
Mm.
impossible unless you're Kanye West or something. You cannot create demand. You can only find demand that is unsatisfied, preferably, and create beautiful designs
How do you do
for that.
that? How do you find demand?
Uh, Originally, when I just started, I only knew of eRank. I was using that. Then a beautiful app of yours was created called EverBee, and it became even easier to research for that. Um, Basically, spending every day, starting every day on Etsy search and finding what's trending, finding if it's something small that you can make big, creating your mental archive, following all these other aesthetic related companies like what's their name, Urban Outfitters or Zara or H&M, seeing what's up, what people are buying. Even though with the big retailers it's tricky, they're usually are too late for the game. Etsy is way more on the wave of like has a pulse on hand on the pulse for all these new trends. So if it's
Because
an
people,
H&M,
because there's like
probably it should
individual
not create
people,
it.
right? It's because like individual
Exactly.
sellers are like jumping on trends quickly, and whereas the big box retailers,
Yeah.
they can't do that. They shouldn't do that because it's too much
Yeah.
risk. But for
It
you,
takes them
right,
usually around 6 months, as I know, to from an idea to implementation, so we can see it in the shop. So, and for us, it takes about 15 minutes at best to just see something on TV, hear something at a debate, put a quote on a T-shirt, and put it up, pay 20 cents for it. And that's how you test your ideas. So originally, yeah, I was just testing and testing, and first designs really sucked. And then once I came across this niche combinations, which I think is still the biggest money making tool on Etsy. Just you take one big category of things, second category, and third maybe combine them all together, and then you're going to be appealing to
pause.
more
I
people.
want to know more about this. What is a niche combination? And I think everybody is wondering, okay, what does Alina mean here with this? How do you do this using
Uh,
EverBee and then using this big category? Like, can you walk us through that step by step if possible?
yeah. For example, there is a big holiday coming up, Halloween. And if you try to create Halloween designs, you probably are not going to be able to rank unless somehow you like really, uh, I don't know, algorithm would pick you, but most likely you won't. So a great tool to use in order to be able to rank is to cross niche big holiday with some smaller niches. For example, pickleball was really big this and last year. and someone who drinks coffee, or someone who's a teacher. And then you put a couple of these together, like teacher who loves pickleball, who likes to drink coffee, who celebrates Halloween. You put it all together in a nice way.
Mm.
Um, and then you can be seen by first four more audiences, and chances are that there's going to be a person who is all those things. Obviously, you shouldn't be cross niching like 5, 10 things, and it's extreme me mentioning four niches. But even showing like a pickleball lover and Halloween inspired designs together, that could already be
I could totally see that. That's
a
very
pretty
logical to me.
successful design.
I, I could
Yeah,
totally 1000% see that if someone plays pickleball. If they're in the US, they're going to celebrate Halloween, very likely. If they're in the
yeah,
US, their chances are like pickleball, they understand what pickleball is, or they know
yeah,
someone that plays pickleball. Everyone knows somebody that plays pickleball now in the
yeah.
US. And so, yeah, it totally makes sense. And you said the ideal is three or the ideal is two.
I would usually start with the two, and then once something is working and something got picked up by the algorithm, and you had a couple of sales, first rule, spread it to every possible piece of garment you can think of, and something else may also spark interest. But also you can add a third element on top of it later
Okay.
on. And if it's not really holiday related, if it's like teacher and the pickleball and the coffee lover, let's say, these can live throughout the year, and no matter what evergreen niche you add. And by evergreen niche, I mean the ones that are not really tied to a season or a holiday. You can keep adding it or removing something and see what element really works or not. And another niche in there can be a design, an aesthetic itself. Last year, and actually this year as well, like retro designs were really, really booming. Then like cocktail club designs, or only college letters, like all these aesthetics, they're kind of a niche themselves. Like people buy anything that is written with a college font, no matter what it says. If it's your hometown, if it says pickleball, if it says new mom, or I don't know, Etsy seller,
I have a question for
anything you
that.
put.
How does somebody stay? So let's say someone is a brand new seller. They don't understand the trends. Like Alina, you have a lot of experience now at this point where you understand what's on trend. Like you mentioned the retro letters, you mentioned the college font. What if someone doesn't know that those are trending right now? For example, me, right? I don't tend to stay really on top of trends. So my first question would be for you is how do you know those are trending? Like how do you like what tells you that other than you just see it online and you just make that assumption that it's trending? Or what would you say to somebody like me who doesn't follow trends that well? And I want to though.
Yeah, I think the best thing you can do is to start following it. And Etsy will give you all the answers first. So spending a lot of time on searching women's shirts, sweatshirts for women, gifts, stickers, like all these different elements on Etsy will give you a lot of answers. um, as well as Pinterest is really good for that. Twitter trending, Google Trends, like as deep
Okay.
as you want to go. But honestly, just Etsy search is enough just to build this mental archive of seeing something over and over and over again. You're gonna start noticing it even more. It's like with numbers. I don't know, if you see 1111, you're gonna start seeing 1111 all the time.
Hmm.
So I think also there is something about human psychology that is familiar means safe. So people love seeing the same design over and over again, kind of strengthening the trend.
I see.
The same with a song. When you heard a song and you didn't even like it, it was like too pop for you, and then you
Hmm.
keep hearing it over and over again, and next thing you know, you start to sing along. So I think with designs and with trends, it's the same.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of this like cartoonish retro designs for myself, But the more I looked at them and the more I designed them, I kind of became a big fan of it because it's just so
Interesting.
common.
Do you use EverBee? I know you do you use EverBee to like validate with revenue, or how do you typically validate these trends? I'm sure you obviously pay attention to them. So step one, pay attention to them on Etsy search, on Pinterest, and just you know using your intuition. But then do you actually go and like validate with revenue? You mentioned you're a numbers person, so I'm assuming that you do some sort of you're looking at the data somehow, right?
Yeah, I definitely look at the data on EverBee, but I don't know how to look at the entire trend. I don't think it exists, right?
Doesn't
But
exist right
with the
now. Yep.
specific listings, um, I love to see a listing that's sold 20, 30 times that only exists for a month. That's the
Mm,
best listing. If you see a listing that exists for half a year and sold 800 times, maybe you could be too late for the game, especially if you are new and you don't know how
uh,
to
we
appeal.
stop. That's actually a very cool golden nugget. So you would say 1 month or less, and total sales of you said 30,
20 plus. You
20
see
plus.
that in 1 month, if someone made friction like that, and if it's not something that is going to die out soon, like a presidential debate quote, something that is longer lasting, or something that is very neutral. I think um, to me, yes, a great indicator on EverBee is that you can see that they're really new, a month or 2 month old. Algorithm already likes them, people purchase. And if you go on the shop itself and you see that they made a total of 200 sales or 500 sales, means that they're very small and they figured it out. They understood what is trending. It's not only the big shops who can do it. Like there's a myth that only big shops are recognized by the algorithm and then they push all the products that you come up with. That's not true. So finding some small shops that have a small designs that all of a sudden boomed and trying to create not even your version of it, but trying to learn from it. See what was working for them, what design they use, what aesthetic. Don't just take the same concept and copy it. Just bring the same concept to an extremely opposite niche, something that has nothing to
Mm.
do with them. But change the text, change the font, change as much as you can. Just only like extract the most important things that were working, and it could be different from every listing.
Alina, how many for your print on demand shop? How many sales do you have in there? And then revenue, I think you already mentioned it's over 5 figures for that shop as well in revenue. Can you talk about that shop a little bit, just like high level numbers?
hmm I have over 20,000 sales, and it's a very holiday driven shop. Like my biggest month is the fourth quarter. Although sometimes I manage to hit the evergreen niches as well, which is really nice. Um, uh,
And
what other
that's about a
products?
year. That's about a year old as well.
No, that one is a couple of years old, but it took me some time to figure it out. It
And
took
your
me a couple of
profit
years.
margins on that, because I know that you're a numbers person. Typical profit margins for
It's
your print
a
on demand.
yeah, or between 30 and 40%. I
Cool.
try to keep it high uh, because I don't use Etsy ads on that shop. I know it's
Okay.
crazy, but every time I tried, I succeeded way more with no ads, with just
Wow.
relying on the design and SEO.
Couple rapid fire questions on this specific topic. How many listings do you have in that shop? Approximately
I think over 2,000.
2,000 listings. And then do you list it every week or every day, or is it like you don't really list as much anymore?
I try to list about 100 a month.
100 a month.
I,
Okay.
I now have a designer that I collaborate with because I cannot do all the designs myself. And so I um, create these niches that I would like to go after. And then we roll out designs, not really on schedule, but I would say around 100 a month.
Perfect. And then do you do a niche? or a general store, or is it like a very specific type of audience for the entire shop?
No, it's a general store. I
Or
have a
general
couple of
store?
niches that I that like me, but generally it's a no niche store, and I would
Wow.
recommend everyone do that.
Interesting. Okay. And then you said you already answered this was you don't do Etsy ads for the shop. So the question
Or
is,
is it?
how do you
No.
tend to be so successful? 20,000 sales, $20,000 a month in revenue, plus how do you get ranked and how do you get sales?
For the watermelon box?
No, the other one, the print on demand shop.
For the POD, for the print on demand. It's just social search engine optimization.
Cool.
You create good titles, good tags, and you put a beautiful design up on a really specific mockup because mockup should is your first selling point. Like that's what people see with their eyes. And as you said, like little tweaks go a long way. So zooming in to like an exact like sweet spot, choosing a great color combo with the t-shirt and the print itself because a
Mm,
lot of times people love like a single print, single color prints. And if you choose a really sweet combination, like red print on a pink shirt, that's been trending. It's a beautiful combination. Or um, white on a dark green t-shirt. And there are a lot of beautiful combinations, purple and green, yellow and orange. Like there are a lot of them if you decide to go monochrome.
interesting.
But
Okay. For you
but
mentioned
I think
SEO
mockups
optim.
played a big role.
Okay, I want to talk about mockups in just a minute too, because that's
Mhm.
actually very interesting. I
Yeah,
think that would take a longer. You mentioned SEO optimization, titles, tags. Do you use EverBee for this as well, or how do you typically play with the titles and the tags?
100%. I use EverBee. I find competitors that sell something in the one of the niches that I'm trying to target because, as I said, I do niche combinations, and I go in there, and there's a beautiful way to sort by demand, by the amount of times each tag was clicked on. And I usually build SEO from tags because on the tags end, you can actually see the data. And on the title, I don't think you do. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're talking about in the Etsy dashboard, right?
Uh, on EverBee, yes.
Okay, walk me through
Like
that
if I
again, because I
go
think I
inside,
missed that piece.
yeah,
Yes.
if I go inside of the listing that I really like
Okay.
from another seller, I can see their tags in a sheet or in a table,
Hmm.
and I can sort by the most popular my most popular tags and least popular. But
Monthly
I don't
searches.
cannot do that to the title, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Right. So that's how I tend to build titles from tags information on EverBee. So
And
I just
then how do you view
take
that? So do you, okay, I'm sorry. You're gonna literally gonna walk me through it.
I disregard anything that is over I think 100,000, and I tend to go something that is below like five between 1,000 and 5,000. I don't know how is that column called.
Monthly
Um,
searches, maybe? Is it like search
Monthly
volume?
searches, yes, right,
Search
search
volume.
volume. So I try to find something that is not too high, but not non-existent, like 65 searches.
Hmm.
And I think these lower volume tags are key to my success.
Interesting. Do you actually use the competition column as a factor in there as well, or the keyword score, or do you not really pay attention to those? You
No,
mostly care
I
about the search
haven't
volume?
really used. When I built SEO, I mostly care about that. Obviously, also intuition because there's not
Hmm.
always enough data, especially if you're
Yeah.
going after something new. And if there are multiple niches, you should be able to fit everything in just 13 tags and whatever 146 characters in the title. It's
Love it.
not a lot of space.
That's super golden. I hope that anybody watching this like took notes and like rewatches this because that's right there. That framework is obviously working for you. I mean, 20,000 sales on one shop, 20,000 sales on another shop. Like you haven't just
Mhm.
done this once and you're repeating to do this. Let's talk about mock-ups for a minute because there's a lot of print-on-demand sellers watching this. And even if you're not a print-on-demand seller, you're a handmade seller, whatever it is, you should understand mock-ups and walk me through like the perfect, in your eyes, in your experience, the perfect main image first. Like, so your Etsy search and you type in Halloween pickleball shirts. What's the ideal thing that somebody should see?
I think uh, before I answer this, I want to give um, a little bit of data on why I started doing what I do. Because
Please.
I was searching for mockups and I couldn't find something that was neutral enough for me to use. Like a lot of times it was very uh, exciting and fun. People are smiling. There's a lot of color in the background. While sometimes I was going after niches that are more sad or about tragic events or about a disease that people, like a cause people would like to support.
Interesting.
So I needed something more neutral and yet very classy. So in my shop, I started to create these less smiley designs as well, maybe because I'm Russian, but like less smiles and sometimes neutral, no background, something, nothing to distract you. And that's what was started to work in my POD shop, that the conversion increased because I started to use these types of mockup. And on Halloween, um, answering your Halloween search question, I think data from my POD shop, people, 90% of people buy the color that you advertise on a thumbnail. Doesn't matter if you give 10
Oh,
color
interesting.
options, people love buying what they see first. Very rarely I see people buying a secondary color. Even if you put the craziest color, if it's green and it's not the most popular color. I also work um, with Printify's data to analyze what colors are trending. Each quarter, I ask my success manager to give me um, data on colors, and you can definitely trick this color's stats. Uh, I have bestseller designs that sell not the top 10 colors, just because I put a mock-up with that color first.
Wow, that's very interesting. I never have actually thought about that.
Yeah. Even though everyone loves white, black, and sport gray colors and navy sometimes, people will buy beige, green, pink, light blue designs just because that's your first image. And it works. It has to work, obviously.
Interesting. What's next for before we go into like the rapid fire questions that I like to ask every single guest? What's next for you, for your shop, for your shops, multiple shops, for your business? What's next for you?
Uh, yeah, it's big. I have started to expand to everything, and I already started on Walmart. Now allows POD, Amazon, uh, merged by Amazon. How do they
Mhm.
are they called now? They rebranded their name. I forgot what to. Then I opened the Shopify store, and on Mockup side, I'd like to expand into a little bit of an educational videos to my subscribers and to my current customers, because we offer a whole shop bundle on our um, in our shop, and I'd like to give like added value to those customers and create videos explaining exactly what I showed you on how to best use it, to show great examples of what I see in the community. Because when I do a search for my POD business, I see a lot of my mockups with bestseller badges on it and used in such creative ways that you don't even recognize that it's
Mm.
your mock-up, because design and certain colors can definitely look like create like an illusion that the t-shirt color is something else. Like, I don't know how to explain it better, but it's a really big year for me, I think, because
I love
I'm
that.
trying to expand too much. I just I was pregnant the whole year, almost all of this year, and I recently gave birth, and I call it digital nesting. When you have so much energy when you're pregnant, you want to do everything. So I was nesting, but digitally. I started all these things at the same time. So now I need
Congrats on
to
your
stay on
baby. A
top of
boy or girl?
it. Thank you. It's a girl.
Little girl. And
Yeah,
first or
that's why I have
second?
some.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
How many do you
That's
have?
why I have some pregnancy mock-ups in my shop this year, but not too
Mm.
many because pregnancy is over. I only have one. That's my first.
Congrats. That's so awesome. I have two and then one on the way coming in December, a couple months.
Oh, beautiful. Another dragon baby. That was also a good niche to follow. There was a
Is that
year of
right?
dragon. A lot of people are into horoscopes, so year of dragon. Go for the next year. I don't remember what it is. I think maybe it's a mouse. But whatever it is, go after it. It's a beautiful niche.
I love it. Rapid fire questions. Feel free to answer these as quick as possible, or you can take some time too. What's your favorite business book? Do you have one?
I don't have one.
Anything that's helped your
No,
business?
working on it every single day.
Okay. And that's not a book, just to be clear. Just working on your business every single day. That's something that's helped you
Yeah,
move forward. Cool.
that sounds like a book I can read. Right.
Write that book. What's one thing that you wish you knew before starting your own business and creating your own business?
Uh, Buying as much as possible of educational products early on, that would have saved me so much time.
Mm.
Basically, buying wisdom from other people. That is such a shortcut
So
than figuring it out yourself.
like courses,
Courses,
group coaching,
watching
type of.
free content, watching free content, utilizing research tools, making all these data-driven decisions instead of just relying on your intuition or your gut.
Beautiful. What's the worst advice that you've ever received about business?
You're too late for Etsy or Amazon.
Mm, that's such a good one. I haven't heard that one yet. Love this. How many hours do you think you work on your business per week?
Uh, 35.
And if your family and your friends and your customers all had to get together, okay, they all get together and they had to, without you, and they had to write like some sort of article about you or some sort of book about you, what are some things that they would say characterizing your traits? Like what do you think they would say about you? You had no approval on this, by the way. It could be good, bad.
They would definitely say I'm stubborn and um, loyal, but really difficult. And but funny. That definitely they would say that they have had a good laugh with me.
Would they say that you're creative too? I imagine it has to be a creative thing in there.
Yeah, I that I'm a doer. Like anything that I
Mm,
decide to put out creatively, I just do. Like if I want a painting on my wall, like I would be on the way to Michael's to buy a Canva to just start doing something with it. Like I have a really, and I think it's a good advice for all the sellers out there to have as short as possible time between deciding and doing it.
wow.
Otherwise, it's just gonna disappear and among errands and life.
I really, really love that. Take action. That's basically what you do. You're an action taker. You just
Yeah,
make a move as soon as you decide.
yeah.
Beautiful. To wrap up, where can people find you? What would you like to share with people? You can share your shop, you can share your socials, anything that you'd like to share. Where can people find more about you and learn more from you?
I am gonna leave my email where people can write me anything. I would also love to extend some big promotion to your followers and leave promo codes for my shop,
Beautiful.
for the Mockup shop, so everyone can benefit from it. And just subscribe to our newsletters, and I hope I'm gonna put out way more educational free content just for you to be able to scale your business faster with our mockups.
I love that. Alina, thank you so much for this. It's been a pleasure to have you on. It's like already went 45 minutes, already came and went like that. But I really appreciate you spending the time and sharing all this value with me personally, selfishly, and also for all of our listeners.
Thank you so much for having me. I am very excited to listen back to it and be shocked why I didn't say this and why I was so
That's funny.
confused
The
about
way that
things that I was
is,
saying.
we don't like the sound of our own voice, or at least I don't personally. When I listen to my own, I almost don't even listen to our past episodes because I'm just like, I cringe
I
when I listen
bet.
to it. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, true.
Awesome. Well, I'll
Thank
see
you.
you really soon.
See you.